what the deal is about. We bring in the best of indie artists who are making waves and so much moves in the music industry. And like I said, we have artists that are right here in our very own backyard. Miss B, she's here from BK. Yes. Now
BK
she's a Cali girl.
No,
She on the West Coast though.
So we thank you for LA, but I'm BK to LA. I'm BK. Oh,
but she BK all day.
Forever.
Listen, there we go. So guys, we thank you once again for tuning in, and for our guest today, we welcome. I mean, we can call her everything: singer, rapper, swag.
She's a
Grammy nominee twice, two times.
Thank you.
The beautiful and talented Miss Berry Boo. Welcome.
Thank you.
You got a lot of energy.
I already know this is gonna be great because y'all giving me everything I need right now. So I'm like, I already know this is gonna be great. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you so much for joining us. So, Berry, the one thing, so I know this is going to be a little bit simplistic at first, but I want you to let our viewers know who is Berry, because honestly, we love because we see it, your energy. You know, you're confident, you're sexy, you're everything. So let them know who's Berry. Your artist.
Berry is the underdog who wins. Berry is the person that was counted out and now she is doing her thing. Berry is no different from no one else, but very like, I'm raw and I'm real, and what you see is what you get. Yeah, I'm fun, I'm edgy, I'm all those things, but I'm very for my ladies and my women and for what's right, and it's just a melting pot of goodness, I should say. It's hard to explain that because I'm a chameleon. I'm like so many different things. I'm not just one dimensional. So like Berry is a lot, but if you follow me and you stay connected, you'll understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So originally you're from Brooklyn. What part of Brooklyn are you from?
Crown Heights.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Tell us a little bit about like how did you get started into like the music industry?
Yeah. I started. Well, I've always grew up. I grew up singing in my church. My mother, my sister, like we all sing. So I grew up in a church foundation, singing in choirs, and then I was in like every like dance group, singing group you can think of. But what really started for me when I was working at Ashford and Simpson Sugar Bar, which is the open mic circuit, which is the open mic spot in the city. And if you're in New York, you know, it's like a huge open mic circuit. You have like Sugar Bar, you have the Underground, you have the Groove. Like I see you over there, you're like,
yeah, because I know.
You have so many of them, and if you are trying to like branch out and like build your network, those are the top places to be, because you get to kind of like be around like minds and get on stage and kind of just like hone your craft. So it started for me there, and I was singing for I was working there. I wasn't even singing there at first. I was working there, and it started for me singing for a lot of local artists, which then turned into major artists. So it was really like a word of mouth kind of thing, which ended up being like a blessing. So
okay,
yeah.
So I definitely want to go into the Sugar Bar.
Yeah,
because
you said that's where you met me first, right?
That's where I originally. So
wow.
Just a little short story. So we have a mutual friend contact, and we was actually going to grad school together, and he's like, he's into music as well, big music head.
Walter Tucker.
And he's Walter, yes, he's in Cali too. And he definitely was like, yo, we got this thing going on, like show going on. So he invited me. So I was like, okay, I'm checking it out. Because I lived in Queens at the time. I was like, oh Lord, I gotta go all the way to Harlem. And I was like, but I was
it's a drag. Going from Brooklyn to Queens is a drag.
Hop, jumping, and skip away.
That's the time
you
I
from Queens,
so
it's just, all right. It just takes you through the city just to get to, like, it's just too much. So I get it. Thank you for coming.
So I got there, and actually I ran a little late. And I think by the time I got there, you were already on stage.
So was it my show, or was I?
You know what? It was a couple of people that went.
Okay.
It was a couple of people that was singing. Okay. But I think by the time I got there, you were already on.
Okay.
But I would never, first of all, let me tell you, I would never guess that you worked there, because the way she owned the stage.
Well, at the time, if you came with Walter, I wasn't working there anymore. This was years ago when I started out there.
Okay.
But that's still like my home. So by the time you came, I probably was singing for somebody else's show or like just, that's still my home. So but I wasn't working there at that time if you came there.
Like, no, I was never there.
But it was amazing. It was just the way that you owned the stage, and like the confidence and the presence you had. So I just actually want you to talk about your experiences, just being there at the Sugar Bar, because Ashford and Simpson, that's legendary place for me, of course. Yeah. Just talk about when you first literally started on the stage there, and just that experience, and how rewarding that was.
I used to be so nervous. I used to be so nervous to even go up and sing, because it's such incredible artists there, and I was so used to being in groups, so like I always just had that comfort space where like stepping into the front row was like
right.
So I would sing background even for a lot of artists there, but still wouldn't like want to get on the stage. Once I made that transition, it was just like an out-of-body experience for me. But the support was always there, and I always had support from even Nick Ashford, rest in peace. He was always supportive of me, and Valerie Simpson. So, and everyone there was just, people always, when they see me, they're just like, okay, what you do, when you're getting up, when you're singing, and they are very like supportive, or for like art. If you're working there, they're just like, do you sing? And everybody there does something, period.
Oh, wow.
I was a hostess when I was there. I wasn't, if you're hosting, you're bartending, you're a server, a lot of times with a 10, you're in the creative field. And that's just like, I always say that was like the perfect place to be for me, because I was kind of like coming from like being a dancer and like singing and trying to like branch out and get my network popping in a singing realm. And that I can't thank God enough for placing me into that in that venue. So it was great for me singing there, and like even going back now, it's just like they're happy to be like, she's ours. She's ours. She started here, and I always tell people like, if you want to do something, go to the Sugar Bar. So. Yeah,
amazing.
It was always great. Hopefully I answered the question. Let me know. I start rambling and
no, you're good. I love the background story, because we want to, as our platform, we support independent artists. We are supporting their music, and all of so. And then on top of that, we have a lot of artists that do ask us a lot of questions, and well, how do you get started? How I get started, or I am starting, or what else move should I make?
Where should I go?
So this is all important, because we want to hear your story. It's your story, but obviously we know that your story is your story. Right. But it's important to definitely relay it over.
Everybody kind of has their own blueprint, but there are certain things that's kind of like 101 when it comes to like getting your feet wet and getting out there,
Right.
So I will always say like, be around like minds and find out where you can network and take it from there, because really word of mouth goes a long way. Like all the artists from Sugar Bar, I've been able to like tour and sing with artists that I never had to audition for. It all came from word of mouth. So although I'm like, I have to be able to like, hold my positions. You don't want to embarrass nobody for for referring you. But at the same time, like, it's word of mouth is really, really, really a big thing in this industry.
And not only that, the talent. And I like to be 100% straightforward. You're amazing raw talent. Thank you. It's I don't want some artists to think like, oh, I can just
no, that's what I'm saying. Like, it might get you the job. If it ain't gonna keep you the job, you got to be good. You can get the job word of mouth, but if you ain't good, they gonna be like, okay, next. You want to make sure when people call you for things that you don't make them look bad, and you're actually representing for how highly they spoke of you. So that's very, very important. So
got it.
So I know you were saying like you started originally like you were always in groups. How did you know that you wanted to break off from from being in groups to being on your own?
Yeah, I feel like I was always an artist. I thought I was born an artist. Some people kind of learn it over time. I feel like I was always born an artist. Like I've always had a thing about me that I just, whether I was changing my hair, if I was just doing something, I was always into something, right? And people just will always just like gravitate and love to see what it is that I'm doing next. But for me, like touring with artists, like even singing background, I would have the fans of people that I sung for be like, all right, Berry, especially when Twitter was popping. Twitter was like popping. They were like, Berry, when you coming out with your stuff? When you coming out with your stuff? You know, they would ask me this all the time. And like I was working on stuff, but it wasn't until I met Walter Tucker, IBMOC, when we just had like this marriage, this business, this music marriage that just kind of worked. He understood me, and that's all it is for an artist. Like sometimes it's kind of hard finding producers that get your sound. You know what I'm saying? That understand what it is that you like, and y'all can really like crank
and
out.
I know Walter actually produced Big Man on Campus. That's what he is at Big Man on Campus. Yeah. And he actually did one of your songs from your Clutch.
Yeah, EP. So my first LP, my first project, I'm Berry Damn LP, he did the entire thing. He produced the entire thing.
He's amazing.
Like cranking. And for my second EP, there was still like a lot of people that I grew up with that wanted to work with me. So I kind of wanted to like blend a few different people. But I was just like, the formula we have, it ain't broke. I ain't trying to fix it. So I definitely called him in for my second project. And you know, moving forward, I'm always like, even if he's doing so much great things right now, I'm still just like, but what do you have that you can send me? Like, I will always call Walter for things.
Yes, he's amazing.
He really is. He really is.
So speaking of your second EP, latest EP, Clutch. Yeah, I love it. And you know, you came from, you know, when you first did your first EP, your self-titled EP, I Am Berry.
Damn it.
Know the name, okay? Yeah, I just want to talk about, you know, first the growth in regards to, you know, talk about, you know, your experience from that first and then the growth into the second EP and like the differences in your sound change, because you're edgy. And guys, if you haven't listened to it, please stream it, buy it, purchase it, get it. There are 5 tracks to it, and let me tell you, there are powerful tracks. Okay, just exciting, everything. You're gonna get it on repeat. Everything. Listen.
Thank you.
So
now, even like I was like, oh, they did their homework. Come on, ladies.
Listen, we'll do our research.
I love it. I appreciate that. That means you really you don't just put nobody on your show. You're like definitely really love who you bring on. So that means a lot, first of all. And that goes across the spectrum. Like no matter what producer or what engineer you're working with, you want them to love what they're doing. You know, so exactly. It matters. It really matters. So for me, you want to know like the difference, like coming from my last LP to this one. So like coming from background to the forefront, a lot of people expected me to do a lot music of the people that I sung background for. So they would expect me to just, I am soulful, like I can sing, but they thought I was gonna just be a soulful artist and just singing ballads and all that stuff. And I am very colorful. I'm very like energy driven. I'm very pop. I'm very loud. I'm very in your face. So when I came out like rapping and busting, people was like, wait.
That's the same girl.
They was like, wait. Sorry, I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm cutting my head off. Sorry. Oh, no. I was like, they was just like, wait, hold up. So it took people a little minute to kind of be like, okay, who is Berry Boo? You know what I mean? And I think now coming from, I think that last project, because I did both, but it was a lot of rapping on there. And it just took an energy of its own. It's not like if I went in there and was like, I'm gonna rap now. You know what I'm saying? It just did what it did. It was a moment in time, and I naturally, like, singing is something I grew up doing, but rapping always came naturally for me. It was just something that I never really have to think about. Even when I used to reference songs before being an artist, I would just write a bunch of words. They'd be like, Berry, you got to break that down. Like, it's just a lot of words. So I've always been, like, rapping, like, always been rapping. And coming from that into this one, I think people now know, they know that I'm going to do either or. So I made sure, like, coming into this project, that I didn't abandon either or. So I feel like you're going to get a little bit of everything. You're going to see me spitting. You're going to see me singing. I'm going to be, that's when I say swagtress, is because I like to swag it out. I like to rap, sing. You know what I'm saying? I like to give you a little melting pot of a few things. And I think with Clutch, I also wanted to bring in people that I always wanted to work with, that admired what I do, and I admired their skill set. And even when it came to singing, like just the vocal production, I wanted to bring in people that are skilled in those areas. So you always kind of like want to raise the bar in certain areas in your next project. So for me, even with the singing part, I wanted to make sure that you kind of got both equally, and you were happy with it. You didn't feel like, oh, damn, Berry ain't singing enough, or Berry ain't rapping enough. So I kind of like
just do it. Yeah, have a feeling for both.
And you can't be boxed into like one category.
I can't be in it. When people ask me what do you do, I'm just like, just listen. You know, it's just really just a melting pot. What I do, what I organically hear, I do what I organically feel when I hear a record. So if it calls me to sing, I'm going to sing on it. If it calls me to rap, I'm going to rap on it. And at this point, I don't choose. It's just whatever I feel. Because before I was trying to please the people. That knew me from singing background. I was trying to please them, and now I'm just like, fuck that.
Do you?
Yes.
So I'm still want to stay on the EPs, because you worked a lot with Smith Street. You worked with, was it Steph Reed? That partnership, you guys obviously have like a really great bond to be on these EPs. Talk about how important it is to have a great team for your projects, and the relationship in which you guys have.
Yeah, it makes all the better, like none of us can do it alone, but when you find that great chemistry and that synergy, you can be yourself. When people get you, they kind of, even like when you're writing or when they're producing, they know what your sound is, so they know what to present to you. And it makes it that much easier, because you don't have to like go through and be like, nah, that's not me. Like it cuts off wasted time, and just, these are like my brothers. Like, we came up grinding together. We came up in the trenches together. So like to work with them, and I admire what they do, and I listen to a lot of my fellow artists more than just like people on the radio, because I know that we're dope. We just don't have probably don't have that machine behind us, So like, I respect them as artists, I respect them as producers, I respect them as songwriters, and I'm like, let's go, let's get it. And it was beautiful coming together with this, because I worked on other things with them, and I was just like, I know who I'm gonna call when it's time for my next. Like, I just knew, and I'm happy that I did, because like Clutch, like Uncertainty is one of my like biggest received records, because they got me.
Turned 3 years old.
Yeah, it turned 3 years old, and people are like, you have like new followers and new people that you meet now, and people are like, oh my god, they thinking this is new, and I'm like, nah, this is 3 years old.
Listen, but the energy, the vibe of that track,
the quality of it.
My thing is making timeless music.
Yes.
So no matter if you hear it 10 years from now, thank you. No matter if you hear 10 years from now, you're like, oh, that shit is fire. You know what I'm saying? When did you release that? And that's what's important to me, So I think with that, we definitely nailed that. And that's still like my baby. Like, that's my baby. Okay. That track.
Love it.
So I want to go to transition to,
hi, I'm sorry, I got people in here. Hi, Bim. And I see, okay, I see a lot of people. Oh my God.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. My second mama, Vivian, is in the building. Hey, Mom. Hey, y'all. Hey. Let me just show some love. Okay, go ahead.
It's okay.
So I want to just like people who may be doing like background vocalists, and they want to transition, and they want to make that jump from moving to New York to another city. How, like, what was that like? Like take us on like, what advice did you have?
Yeah, sorry, I mean to cut you off. So like singing background and touring, I've been in LA so many times, and it was always something that I wanted to do, but I just was just like, I always had that cushion of New York, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like, you have to get uncomfortable. You have to get uncomfortable. You have to take those risks. You just have to go for it. So like coming out here was something I was just, and even coming out here, like, one of my friends said to me, she was just like, when you take those risks, you stepped out on faith, God has to honor it. He's going to honor it because he said that he will, right? And I got chills just saying that because it's real. So I would just say to anybody that's like if it's on your heart to do and you don't really see the end goal, you just just do it. Just do it, because everything will fall in place, and the universe is going to bend in your favor. It's going to always, if you stick with something long enough, it's going to bend in your favor. So I would definitely encourage anyone to just like go for it. And I was scared. Sometimes I'm still scared. I was just like, I came out here. I came here January 1st, literally.
Oh, wow.
Day. I came out here. I had a few good 3 months, and then COVID hit, you know. And I was like, okay. And then people was like, oh, did you regret going? I'm like, absolutely not. Like, I knew what I was doing before I left. I knew I was leaving my entire tribe to come here and see what LA had to offer me. So no, I'm fine. And it's really been a blessing. And gigs that I thought I lost actually multiplied being here, you know? So like, literally, you just have to do it. You never know what is going to come of
What
it.
can happen.
And you just got to, it's going to work. It's going to work in your favor if that is aligned with your purpose. So
I love that. That's so speaking, you moved in January, then COVID hit. So speaking of COVID, what would you say, like, has it affected your process? Like, obviously it didn't, because you said things had doubled and multiplied. Yeah. But did it give you a different perspective or a different outlook?
I couldn't go out. I was stuck at home. And what it did is, because at first I was just like, oh my God, 2020 is a shit show.
Every month it was like different.
I just got here. Really?
But now I have to retract my words, because it's been so many silver linings with this whole time we had to actually, I've been able to, things that I procrastinated on, like my merch line. Like my merch line, B City Collection.
Yes.
Able to.
Oh, we're gonna get into that.
I've been able to start things that I've been wanting to do for a long time, but I've just been you just ripping and running all the time. So I've been able to really sit down and really focus on other ventures, other business ventures that I absolutely still love, and it can work in favor. It can marry with my music, and all as one umbrella. That, and I've been learning how to I knew how to record myself a little bit, but I'm really, really learning how to engineer myself, and which I think is really important for anybody, especially independent artists. So you don't have to be a slave to getting into the studio and getting music out, Say
that for the people in the back.
Learn. Everything it's not, I would say it's not hard. It's just a learning process. Once it becomes second nature, you're like, oh my God, thank God. And even some days still I procrastinate, because I know it's going to give me a headache. But then once you really get it, you feel so good. It's so rewarding. So for me, learning, I cut one of my rap verses myself, and now I'm my next thing is cutting a full R&B record myself.
Okay.
And I'm excited about it, because I'm oh shit. I know what I'm doing now, so that's
how the sound you want it to be,
and how you want to lay it. She was saying, it's exactly the sound that you want it to be. You know how to do your lays. Yeah. It's amazing.
You don't have to explain it to somebody.
And now when I go into the studio, although I know what I sound like, but now I can literally say, do you have this plugin? Do you have that? This is what I want. Can you, you know what I'm saying? It's just it's a little bit more detailed and specific, because I've always been able to tell people what I want, but now I can actually, the terminology, I can actually say.
You can really put it together.
I can say on another level,
That's amazing. And that's the one thing I love to talk to other artists about. Listen, really understand, yes, it's going to be time consuming. It's going to take time. But if you're willing to put in that time and sacrifice, to really learn, because even with me, I'm one of the producers at the radio station. I wanted to learn
everything,
all the production. I wanted to know the system. I wanted to know Zeta and all this other stuff. It's important, because it used to be a lot of things that I wanted to fix and change and do, and I didn't have the skill set to do it. So I have to wait. I would have to send this out and wait for them to get back to me. And people living their lives, and sometimes I need it now. I just need it now. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to rush you, but I need it now. So now I have the ability, and I am very tunnel vision. When I see something, I want something, I want to be able to do it right now. I need to lay it down so I can see it, so I can move on it. So, developing that skill set is super important for sure. Love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody said yes. Someone here read. Thank you. Yes.
I wanted to talk about, I know you've been on tour to many places, different countries.
Yeah.
What tour would you say was your favorite? And what are some of like the pros and cons when it comes to touring?
Yeah. My favorite tour, because it was like my kind of like my longest tour. Well, I toured with Melanie Fiona a lot. I was with her from I was with her from the very beginning, before people knew her name, to her being like a top Billboard artist with her song on like top Billboard for weeks. So touring with her all over the world was just beautiful. But my favorite tour was the Alicia Keys Freedom Tour. And we opened for her, and I stayed out the country, but like on that tour, I hit even more countries than I ever hit. And just building that relationship with other like background singers and the MDs, it's been able to like open doors for me even to this day, being on that tour. So that was definitely one of my favorite tours, one of my most like longest memorable tours that I did. And yeah, so yeah, the Freedom Tour, Alicia Keys Freedom Tour, Freedom of Element Tour. Yeah.
Okay. And what would be some like pros and cons you would say? Like people think like it's all glitz and glamour because you're
like, oh, I'm living out of a suitcase.
Okay, so the cons for me, because I have way more pros than cons. The con for me would be like, you may miss like important family events, like you may miss, a wedding, or you can't really schedule. You can't foresee your schedule, so a lot of times people want to book trips or do something that's meaningful to them, and it could be 6 months ahead or a year later. I'm just like, I don't know, because I don't know, like if I gotta work, if I gotta fly out, like I gotta do it, So a lot of times you might disappoint, people that you love, and it's not that you don't want to be there, but this is your job, and a lot of times they don't understand that, because they just want you there. But the pros for me is, I always say, like, I'm not homesick, I'm road sick. Like I love living on the road, out of a bag, out of a suitcase, and traveling to country, because you're literally getting paid
to go to a different country,
just go all over the world. You don't have to worry about anything. Per diem is taking care of food, they're taking care of travel, you get paid for the shows, you have the structure, you get your schedule, you have this week where you're working, you might have these 2 days off, you might have this day off, you can kind of like go in the town and really kind of see this, experience the country. So I do like the structure of being on tour, and I just love traveling. I really love traveling. I've always traveled since I was a kid. My mother's a travel fanatic. Like I went domestically all over before I started traveling across seas. So traveling is a big thing for me, and to be able to do it, doing what I love, is just the icing on the cake. Yeah.
So of course, I mean, you're traveling. You're background vocalist for all these amazing celebrities, and also we wanted to talk about, just dibble really quickly before we start getting into your fashion and your line.
Okay.
Talk about your
guys. Hi, Crafts. Thank you.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Hey, talk about your experiences, because we know not only that you worked with Kanye West, and you were nominated for 2 Grammys for a background vocalist on two of his projects, actually, with Michael Pablo and Jesus.
Yeah.
I want you to describe that very moment in which you received those envelopes, and talk about the experience. Because I know for me, I would have been on the floor, just gone.
Literally my phone was going off. I was like screaming, because like people that I did the project with would call and be like we know it's coming up. We know like the ballots are in,
right?
We know, and thankfully, working for somebody like Kanye, you kind of like the people are it's a big like cult follower that follows him. So it's you have a kind of like an advantage to kind of like be nominated, but you still just don't know, and sometimes
right.
like working, and you're doing this project, that project, and you forget until you get the phone call, and you're like, oh shit, what?
To me,
it's like, and for that was like my first time having that kind of like album credit, and like my first time being nominated for a Grammy. And I'm just like, I'm one of those people that grew up watching every award show there was.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
Every award, like that's always just been like my love, So to, even if it wasn't just like my personal thing, it was just like, You can't take that shit away from me. Like,
Not
it's
at all.
a major thing, and you know, I'm just like grateful to be a part of it. And you know, like my phone was just like blowing up, and I was just like, oh my god, oh my god. So you know, you get online, you start researching, you want to see the liners, you want to see your name credit.
You just looking right. You just looking like,
your
am I
name.
really on here?
You see your name, you're like, hey,
Yeah.
yeah.
Photoshop this.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. This ain't no photo. This is some real shit. So,
Like, wow, they're gonna have me on the shade room. Lord
yeah,
Jesus.
like I couldn't even really explain that moment, and even like still to this day, like I can look at, like I have them hanging, like I can have them hang my plaques, not my plaques, but my certificates hanging, and it's just like, wow, that really happened, you know. So sometimes you have to like stop. And because you're moving, you're like, what's next? And you have to like really stop and just take in the moment and the reward. Yeah. So yeah, it was beautiful.
Amazing. And then I know it's back then, but congratulations and everything,
Thank
all
you.
the above.
Yeah,
and you know what? We
I got
can't
one
wait.
In 2013. I got one in 2016. So I worked in 2 albums.
Yes.
And you just never know what's next. Like, I didn't know that was when I went in to go work on that. I didn't know it was for that. I didn't know it was for Kanye. I didn't know at all. So that's why you have to just always show up. You have to show up. You have to put your best foot forward. I mean, when I got there, after like, you know, like being told that, I was like, oh, okay, this is what it is. But like, just imagine if I just like was like, whatever, I don't
like kind of brush it off.
Like, I feel good today. I'm not gonna do it.
And from that, I got called for this. I got called for the next time. I got called for other things that wasn't even Kanye West related, because I showed up and I was professional in my craft. And
that's what I wanted to hear. Yes.
It's important. It's important. It's
very important.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for sharing that. You know, and so, you know, I'm excited to go into the next part, because let me tell you, she's fierce, beautiful. I want to go into the style, because let me tell you, and if anybody that follow Berry and everything, like, her style matches her personality. Just everything stands out, and it fit her.
Colorful, it's loud, it's just
it fits you. I just want to talk about, you know, talk about your fashion sense, like what inspired you in your style and how you put your looks together, because it's amazing. And then talk about your line.
Okay. So for me, I started from humble beginnings, and I think coming from where I come from, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. So I was forced to find ways to recreate things, right? So I had to take something old and make it look new again. And although at the time, or just, you know, thinking back in hindsight, I'm like, you know, damn, you know, I wish I didn't have to like deal with in poverty or whatever, but it was such a blessing to who I am today. And it definitely worked in my favor in a fashion sense. So I would cut up jeans, I would cut up shirts, I would just like try on this with a different, you know, hairstyle. It would just change it all the time. And I think that just like snowballed and evolved into something that's just like bigger than me, to the point like when people are looking forward to what I'm wearing before, like, or they looking forward to what my next hair color gonna be, or like before. I don't really give it that much thought. I'm one of those people that like, I feel it come up in my spirit. I have to do it right now. Like I have to do it immediately. Like a switch will come off today, and I'm like, okay, this hair's coming out. I'm changing it. I know I want to do next. So when people are like, what's next? I'm like, I really don't know. I can't tell you, you know, like, so, you know, and I'm just inspired by life and my mood. And a lot of times, like if I am dealing with like a hard time, or I may just like feel down or depressed, and sometimes I'm just like, okay, I think I might have just had my hair in too long. Like I might have just had this color. Like I'm in love with a new adventure. So that is exciting for me, you know, and it falls over into everything, you know, my you know, just my attitude and my music, my style, what I wear. And yeah, as far as like my line, I've always been free in my expression, you know, and when I take images, it's art pieces, you know. So like I always just wanted my image on stuff, or people would be like, yo, I would put this as my screensaver, or I would have to, like, they would just say this shit to me, and I'm just like, you know what, like,
Ding.
Right, light bulb.
Let me put my face. Let me put this ass. Let me put this body. Let me put
I love
myself
it.
on this
Everything.
camera.
Love it.
And it's been really great. So my line is B City Collection. B City, like B could stand for Berry, it could stand for Brooklyn, it could stand for bad bitch, it could, you know,
Whatever you wanted.
It's B City, you know, and it's been a great thing. Like the outpour of love and people that, you know, receiving it and buying my stuff and like posting themselves up in my merch has been, I can't even explain what that feels like. But I've always wanted to venture into like cosmetics, into apparel, like just a few different things, so that's not like just like apparel is just not the end thing. Like my first thing was like doing different wigs and doing different hair colors and having a hairline, because that was like one of the first things people see when they see me. You said what?
I said, what's up with the
What's
wigs?
going on with the
Okay,
wigs?
that was like one of the first things.
We like hair.
But being, come on now. But being independent it's just a little harder, you know. It takes a little bit more. I need more like investments or sponsors to kind of get that done. It's definitely something that I do plan to do, and I know I will do it. But then when it came to like partnering and like putting my images, because I deal with images all day, I'm a visual artist, I was able to put my stuff on merch and be like, okay, I can start this, and then everything is like, it's a domino effect, you know. So I'm just like, what's next? But it buy me time to kind of like, okay, I can set this shop up good. So everything is coming, like nail polishes, like I'm like, my name is Berry, and it's so much I can do with that. And I'm just so happy that it's like my real name. It's not a gimmick. You said what?
Perfume. So you can have
Everything. Yeah, and thank you, perfume. Yes, darling.
Look at
yes.
Hello.
And it's really my name, you know, like it's my last name. But even like from growing up, when people find out what my last name is, they just start calling me by it. So it's not like as if I not to say anything is wrong with coming up with a name, that would right. But like some people think like I'm doing my hair color this way because my name is Berry, and I'm like, nah, like that's just who I am, and this is
that's
like
just your personality. Like that's just it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, amazing.
How like important is that for you to like just like not even just to be categorized as just like a singer, songwriter, but to be like a brand, like to be a household name?
It's very important, and I'm still at the beginner levels, you know, but like I would love to be a full household name, but it's just like having that machine behind me. But I know I have everything, you know. I know I got that thing that people want, you know. It feels really good, you know, when people want to wear your product and people look forward to your outfit. So they look forward to what your next hairstyle is going to be, and they look forward to what you know, your next show. It's a beautiful thing, and it's nothing that I take lightly. And you know, sometimes I have to like remind myself, and people do that for me, because sometimes you're like, you forget how, you know, I know I'm dope, but then sometimes like I'm going through life, and the people remind me why I am where I am and why I've been able to do what I do and why I do what I do. So it's really a blessing. So like to be a brand, and I think branding itself is really important, because that has longevity. That is what people remember, you know, and that it's nothing you can't fake that, you know. It has to, because when people buy into you, they buy into you, you know. So if you buy into Berry Boo, then that means that you know what I stand for, you know what I'm doing, and you're down for it. So I'm not really worried about who's not, because I know I got the people, I got y'all. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So with that being said, you know, with all the trends in fashion and music, and you got your line, you have your music, like everything going, right?
Yeah.
How do you stay grounded or hold on to your individuality, you know, just for yourself, like not even as an artist, just your personal self, just to say, you know what, I need to take a moment. Let me stop for a second.
Rewind. Yeah, thankfully I come from a really great family foundation, and that reminds me every time that I'm supported, and when I need to take a moment and decompress. I have my best friends. We call ourselves Trey. That's Jinx and Shina. Like these are my my tribe, you know. And like I wouldn't be where I'm at without that support system. So it's very important to have that. And my family they nourished every talent that I have. So, you know, I never really had to make too many sacrifices. I had to make more risk than sacrifices because I just always had that support. So when things get hard, like sometimes I just got to take a moment and I talk to them because they're my therapist. They really are. They're my therapist, you know, and you know, I think like, you know, sometimes it's hard for artists because, you know, it's social media and you kind of got to stay on because you don't want to miss work, you know, don't want to miss like an opportunity for a gig. Right. But sometimes you just need to just like shut things off and take a moment to yourself. So sometimes I would just turn my phone off. I'll just turn it off just for a moment. Because if I don't, I'm on it all day. And not even that I want to be, is because the demand of people that they, you know, they're just like, you know, you're being spread and it's just one of you. So I would say how I deal with like this industry and you know, some days are better than others, but if I didn't have the support system, I know I wouldn't be able to go forward in what I do. But I also love what I do. So I'm happy when I'm my busiest. You know, if I'm not that busy, I'm just like, okay, what's happening?
Right, what's
I'm
next?
trying to create something new to like get things popping. But like when I'm working, I am definitely, when I'm moving and I'm traveling, I'm my happiest for sure. So
got it. So Berry, we thank you so much for definitely tuning in with us and just answering these questions, and thank you guys for that tuning in. Those all who kept coming in. So, you know, we're gonna wind down a little bit, but we still got a few more questions.
A little bit more.
This has been exciting. I feel like I can go on for a whole other hour with you.
I told you I'm long-winded. When I was explaining the answer, I explained it 3 different ways, child.
You're good. Believe me, you're beautiful. Your spirit is beautiful. I love it. Your energy is amazing. We just appreciate it. So, yeah, you know, one thing about it, you know, we talked about everything from your style to your music. You know, I want you to definitely talk to our audience now and just let them know, like, you know, what encouragement, I'm not going to say advice, I'm going to say encouragement you are able to offer, and just to those who are looking to just really level up in the industry, who are scared.
Yeah. I would say it's important to be around like minds. Like I was saying earlier, like everybody kind of has a blueprint, but there's still like a business 101, you know? So like if you're a singer, you know, try to be around like, you know, open mics, or, you know, what is great about the industry, about the internet now is that, I mean, we're in COVID right now, but still there is like apps, there's meetups, there's like you can go on oh my God, what's the site where you can find Eventbrite, and you can just find a ton of things that's happening, you know? So if you want to be in this vicinity, you want to be in this circuit, you can look up and say what's happening now, what poetry open mic is happening tonight, what fashion show can I go to tonight, what music venue I can go to tonight. And when you have to just show up, and you have to meet people, and you can't be afraid to talk and network, you know. And I deal with that a lot too. I'm very, very much more comfortable with people that I know than people that I don't know. So like even moving out here, that was something that I had to like, I did for myself to like break out of, so I can network even more, because now I don't have that. I have to do it because I don't know anybody, you know? So I would totally say be around like minds, and, you know, be around people that are like encouraging you to be, that's not settling for you being mediocre at all. Like they're just like, okay, so what's next? What are you doing? What did you do this week? How did this turn out? You know, like, evolve yourself with like minds, with people that shows a reflection of you. I'm really big on energy and reflection. If it's not, like I taught earlier in the beginning, if it's not that, I'm making a beeline. I really don't have time for it. So definitely use the tools that we have, because we have them now. Go and do it. Go out, go in the field and go and do it. Yeah.
Amazing. So of course, you know, we have to ask.
Yeah.
What shall we expect from this next project or next single that you're looking to give us? Because we're not only me, but we're ready.
Yeah. So the funny things lately, I've been doing a lot of collaborations. I've been featured on a lot of people's stuff. So I got a lot of things coming out with that's featuring me. I have a single with the DJ, All Control. He's a DJ and he's putting out like a project, a compilation, and we have this song that's coming out called "Hit It on the Go" on the 25th of September. I told you, I say what I wants to say, what I needs to say. They call me because they know Berry is gonna say it.
I'm ready.
This is called "Hit It on the Go." It's gonna be dropping September 25th, and I have a lot of things that that I can't say yet, but a lot of things that's coming out for the fall. That's gonna be great. And I'm now currently also I'm always working on new stuff, but like I'm working on like new music. So I don't know if I'm gonna put out a project, but I'm definitely gonna be putting out some singles.
Okay.
You're gonna get a single from Berry Boo before the year is out.
Okay.
Sure.
Listen. All right. Cool.
Woo! Yeah.
That's what we're waiting for.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All right. My question is, how is it that you find time? Like, how do you balance your time when it comes to doing your brand, making your music, engineering? Like, how do you set, like, especially for somebody who is struggling from time?
Sometimes I wish I can clone myself to 3 of these. I wish I can be a sleeper. I can be the person that's showing up in the studio. I can be like, sometimes I wish that. But I think, we're in a world of like smartphones. I'm doing things like when I was in New York, like if I'm on a train, I'm editing images. I'm just like, this tool is in your hand and you will find time. And even like when it came to like touring, or like sometimes I could be out on the road and still would get a gig for something else, like when I touch down, and I just feel like if it's meant to happen, the universe, like I said, the universe will work in your favor. Things will work itself out. You just have to do it, and when you need to like take a moment and breathe and decompress, do that. Because I'm one of those people, like, I'm sleeping. I'm not sleeping.
I need my sleep. I need my full 2 hours.
Sleep when you're dead. No, if I don't sleep, I'm going to be dead. I'm sleeping. I am getting my
and you
rest.
not gonna get this type of voice.
Right.
So.
I have to sleep. I'm very, like, your health and your mental space is very important.
I'm so glad.
It's so important. Yeah, so do what you need to do for you so you can feel yourself, because it's if you're like running on E, you're not gonna be able to do it, So if you have to take that time, sorry, I'm on the first floor. if you don't, take the time to like nourish yourself in your mental space and that capacity, it will totally take a toll on you. Your body's gonna let you know. So but like I said, I think with the tools and the internet and the way technology is today, you can do things on a go, which is cool. And because I have like a good support system, like my best friends are my assistants, we assist each other. So if I can't do something, they're on it. If I need them to send out something, if it's an email, if I need them to look over something, if I need them to draw up something, they do it. And we do that. I'm about to close my damn window. We do that for each other. And it's super helpful. So like having a team is really helpful. That definitely will help you kind of, balance your time and making sure things are meeting its deadlines for sure.
All right. And so then my last question is so very like,
can we stop for 2 seconds? Okay, there we go. Okay, I was about to close my window. Sorry.
You guys,
I love it. And close my window. They pissing me off right now.
Oh God, no! Get away from the window.
Yeah.
So my last question to you, Berry, just once again, we with the music, and you talked about not sacrifice but risk, what is it that you want your audience to remember, or what, like, your signature, your message, like, what do you want them to really, if they don't take away anything else, what should be the most important fact that they take away?
I would say the underdog always wins. I've been that underdog, and I've surpassed people where they're just like that they didn't expect, or they didn't see, or they counted me out. Like I got a song called "Count Me Out" with Walter Tucker. One of my biggest songs is like coming from the background to the forefront. Like I've been counted out a lot. No matter how dope you are, like you still get counted out. Like I'm no different. And I would just say, like, stick with it, because people love that comeback story. They love that journey. They wanna feel like they've been with you, you know, from the beginning until you reaching that plateau. So I would just say, like, just keep going. Like, just keep going. Be authentic. Be you. People buy into that. Like, no one can be you better than you. And just know what you got is hot and it's the shit, you know. And you know, life is ups and downs, and that comes with it, you know. But it makes the journey, and it makes when you do win, it makes it so much more rewarding, for sure. And I hope I answered that. I hope
you
I
did. And you know what? And what better way is to wrap it, end it right there, because that was a word. That was definitely a word.
Yeah.
And she what? Listen.
You said what?
I said you was preaching today.
You dropped a lot of and that's what we want. We want our, you know, all of these artists to come on and just really give
away from it.
Sorry, hold that. One second.
Oh, Lord.
I'm sorry. Hold on.
She's about to turn it up.
I'm alive.
But guys, thank you so much. We definitely stay tuned. It wasn't definitely. Yeah. I closed the window.
Sorry, because I would have to get Brooklyn on them. I'm real. Like, this is real time. We live right now.
Listen, BK,
we live. I gotta close this window, child, because they trying right now.
Thank you so much for definitely joining us and having this wonderful, in-depth conversation with us. It's amazing, and we just want to say we are true fans. You know, we love the music. We love the sound. We love, just please keep on going.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
Do not stop.
And I want to say to y'all, this platform is so important, and I don't care how many followers you got. Like, people, when I make it, they're going to be, you know what they're going to do? They're going to retract and look up this interview here. Whether they want to use it against me or not. You know, thankfully, you ladies are like really great and encouraging, and y'all not in no gossip shit. Y'all here for uplifting women and uplifting independent artists. So I'm like happy to be on here, and I love what you ladies are doing. Keep doing it because it's necessary, and we need y'all.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
And once again, thank you so much for coming through, and have a good evening, guys. Go check out.
Yes, so follow me everywhere. I'm Berry Damn It. Well, anybody that's on here right now clearly follows me, or don't. No, they could probably follow y'all. So yes, I'm Berry Damn It. Is the handle. Everything is across the board. I'm berrydammit.com. That's IMBERYDAMNIT. That is my email. That is my Twitter. That is my Facebook. That is my Instagram. That is my website. So I make it very clear for you to find me. And yes, stay updated, stay connected, and thank you. I appreciate you all.
Yes,
for sure.
Girl, you coming out with perfumes any longer?
I got no. That's next. Yeah, I got you.
Well, once you do, let us know.
I will.
Well, you have a good night. I appreciate, or a good rest of the evening. Afternoon.
I know. Nighttime is more later for y'all. It's like going to 5 o'clock.
Good morning.
So I'm still about to go hit the town.
All right. Have a good one. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, ladies.
Good one.
Bye-bye.
So that was amazing.
That was so amazing. I am super her. She's amazing. Such great energy.
Yeah.
Guys.
Literally, as soon as she came in, I was like, I love this energy.
I love it already. Guys, we just want to say thank you so much for tuning in for tonight's episode with Berry Boo.
Yeah.
She's amazing. She's a like I said, I cannot say it enough, just a raw talent. And you know, I'm definitely looking forward to more. Seeing more of her, and I'm praying for her. Yeah, pray for you said lingerie and everything. Okay, we try to get it. Says, and I you know what? And I want to see her get a Grammy for her work. I want to see, because you know I'm rooting for it. I'm definitely rooting for it. She's amazing. So guys, we definitely thank you so much for tuning in. We want to say, you know, we really hope that you took something away from this conversation. Yes. She gave a lot of gems.
Dropped a lot of gems.
She dropped a lot of gems. She said a lot of important things, you know, about touring and
even just like stepping out on faith.
Stepping on faith.
And just not being afraid to just
getting out that box.
Yeah, to just do it. I got a problem with that. But
listen. So guys, I know it's almost time to go, but I just want to say tune in. We have a lot of upcoming things. Next Friday, we have our first music panel, our GENEUS, our Us, Pursuit and Passion. There's a virtual event. Please, it's free. Go register, go RSVP, come in. We got some amazing panelists that are going to be on, from PR to from radio to entertainment lawyers. We talk about publishing and licensing and things like that. Bring your questions, promoters. Bring your questions. This, like I said, this platform is not only just to support the independent artists, but we want to be able to provide education. Come in and network. And we just thank all the comments. Thank you so much, guys. And we appreciate you. Continue just, growing with us, move with us. I promise you, just be patient with us. We're getting there. Okay, and by God's grace and glory, we're getting there. Dale, I know we got 2 minutes now. Let's give us a signal. So couples and karaoke.
We will have couples and karaoke tomorrow. We are bi-weekly.
I'm waiting.